So do you guys know where you're at on that spiritual map? Have you ever heard of a spiritual map? Because when we do this work of enlightenment, we start off feeling incredible, actually amazing, only to turn around and face our deepest fears. What you're going through is just a phase of that whole process. You're giving birth to a new you. Yay! It only feels like you're in the middle of this tunnel crashing down on you in darkness. Because think of it this way, it's like Mother Nature giving birth to you. And you're in the middle of a contraction and you're just being squeezed out. And once you go through that tunnel, you're gonna see the doctor in the distance and he's gonna pick you up and then he's gonna smack you and then they're gonna rinse you off. And after you've gone through all of that, you're gonna get wrapped up in a beautiful, cozy blanket. So in this episode, we're gonna find out what phase you're in, whether you're being squished by that tunnel or you're in that warm, cozy blanket. Let's not waste any more time and find out where you are on your spiritual transformation journey. As you're on this journey of transformation, you may start to become aware of all the different phases that you're going through. And each phase kind of blurs into the other one. Now, some of these phases are going to feel light and easy, while other ones are going to feel like you're digging yourself out of a hole. Now, what's funny about these phases, just like anything else in life, it doesn't always feel like a straight line, right? It feels more like a spiral. You may find that sometimes you're even in a circle and you're just chasing your own tail, spinning and spinning, and you can't get out of the first 3 phases. That's okay. You're not watching this video to run to the 9th phase because that phase is so much better. But instead, I want you to use this as guidance on your journey of your spiritual transformation. Because becoming aware and recognizing where you are can help you get through it. Even if it feels like you're going through an emotional breakdown. Now, the next phase, I just want you to know, will be close by. You just need to surrender and let go of those old programs and those old beliefs that are no longer serving you. I want you to take as much time as you need. And there is no right way, there is no wrong way. I just want you to do what feels good to you. And if you find that you have resistance and you're trying to hold on to your old ways, or you're ready to find the courage and you want to break free from that familiar past and go into the present unknown, this map is going to help you decipher more choices. And I want you to understand that you are accelerating your inner growth, and that doesn't always feel good. But you are on the track to enlightenment. So I'm going to lay out the map of the 9 phases of your spiritual transformation. Now, each phase has its own symptoms of how it behaves in your life. You may find that the beginning phases are focused on removing those old programs and those old beliefs that prevent you from tapping into your authentic self. That's why the early phases can feel really heavy and crappy. But the good news is that it doesn't last forever. So removing this dense, clogged energy lets more light into your field so that you can finally start to feel free and happy in your own skin. Now, each phase is going to get lighter and lighter and brighter and brighter. Phase number 1. This is where your spirit begins to merge with the body. You are beginning to wake up to feeling like there is so much more to life. You can sense that veil between the 3rd dimension and those higher dimensions. It's like it's right there. It's getting thinner and thinner. And it's like your consciousness and your sensitivity, it's like everything is waking up. Your heart is expanding and your mind and your body are becoming one. This is also where you start to get kind of curious about the supernatural and maybe astronomy and tarot and genetics, like all the little things. You start to get really curious about knowing how things work. You may be more interested in having a healthy diet and meditation or doing yoga. And it's not so much of how you look, but it's more of how you feel and getting your avatar, your vehicle to run properly. It's like you're waking up. So instead of being on autopilot, right? Where you're just like, I am this person, I behave this way. It's like this whole energy, this whole light, this whole soul part of you becomes one. And when this starts to happen and you get in sync with it, well, now you're getting ready to move into phase 2. Phase 2, frequency increases. Now, this is where your body is starting to adjust to these high frequencies coming in. This is where it starts to stir all that crap up, where there is all this light pushing at all that darkness in your body. This is why you may start to feel discomfort, because you're starting to adapt to those higher vibrations. Some of these side effects may be that your emotions are gonna feel pretty intense, and you're gonna go through them like you're flying on a carousel. You're gonna go from feeling anger to sadness, frustration, vulnerability, depressed. You're gonna feel them all. Now, the good thing is it doesn't last forever. You're not bipolar and you're not going crazy. This is just a phase. Next, this energy is going to trickle down and it's going to start to influence your physical body. That's why you may experience like hot flashes. Now, something else that you may experience is like tingling in the palms, or if you ever just sit quietly on a chair or on your couch, you may actually feel the vibration all around your body. And if this wasn't bad enough, it also affects your mental energy field, your thoughts. All of a sudden you have a super short attention span. You're kind of like a squirrel. You're like, what am I doing here?
Squirrel!
Or maybe you're losing your memory. You walk into a room and you forgot why you walked into the room. Or you may feel so worried and distracted by everything that you feel super tired, and at the same time, you can't settle down. It's like, I can't sleep, I'm super tired, and you're in this loop-de-loop of exhaustion. So when you're ready to leave this phase, you're gonna start to become aware that you're not your emotions and that you have the power within you. So instead of just letting your emotions run wild, shift your thoughts and transmute those old programs and create more space for this high frequency to come through. This is where you're going to start to have that loving feeling, right? And you want to feel connected, and you do feel connected to everything around you because you're allowing more space in your energy field for this high frequency. You're going to start to become aware that the power of your thoughts, it's all inside, that the choice is all within you. Once you start to feel all this and it starts to come together, now you're ready to move into the next phase. Phase 3, the personal and collective subconscious mind empties. So now that your energy has increased and your field can no longer hold those old programs and those subconscious beliefs, they're going to start to emerge like corks in the water. Everything is coming to the surface. All your old traumas, those repressed memories, you name it, they're coming up. That's why you may again start to feel overwhelmed. You may feel anxious, scared. It's almost like you're reliving those emotions that were trapped in these old programs. What is important is that you start to create an aware ego. An aware ego is this space that you can sit in where you're not tied to an old emotion and you're not tied to that old story, that old program, that old part, but instead you can witness it in a non-judgmental way. If you want to learn more about this, check out my website. I've got a whole section that teaches you how to create an aware ego to help you through this process. Now, unfortunately, what most people do in this situation when all this trauma starts to come up is they grab onto one of those emotional corks and they use them as a life raft. It's almost like they don't want to let go of that pain. You don't want to let go of that identity, right? Because this is who you are. If I'm not my past, then who am I? Remember, we are mapping this out so that you can start to become aware of what you do. So do you find you look backwards in life to remind you of who you are? Or can you find the courage to go into the unknown and create a new path? So you can see this is how you can get stuck at phase 3. Again, that's okay. We're all learning and we're all waking up at our own pace. I'm just showing you that this is a pattern that you keep living, but you have the choice to take that hero's journey, to have courage to face and release these old stories. You're ready for the next phase. Phase 4, resistance, pushback. This is that glass ceiling we seem to reach, where you have the choice to break through, but most of us circle back to phases 1, 2, and 3. This is because your ego, it doesn't want to die. It's fighting for its old ways. It's fighting for those old programs. It would rather be someone in the known that's familiar than going into that unknown, in that unpredictable world, right? That's why you may feel trapped, because you can feel the impulse of change. It's right there, but you don't want to make any trouble. So you repress these new ideas so that you can feel safe. I just want you to know that we all feel this way. It's part of our lessons. And when you're ready, you're going to begin to move into the next phase. Phase 5, old structures break down and dissolve. This is where you go from feeling limited and alone to feeling whole and expanded. You are shedding your old skin. It's almost like you could hear yourself reciting those old excuses and those old patterns, but you don't believe them anymore. It's like it no longer resonates with you. It just doesn't stick. It's almost like somebody saying, "Hey, you're purple." And you're like, "Okay." You're ready to surrender to something bigger and brighter. And you're excited by the unknown because you're finally being directed by your higher self. And you're ready to go into the next phase. Phase 6. Stop. Let go. Relax into your truest self. This is a turning point. You finally stop fighting that ego and you're living in the present moment. This is where you can experience your soul's vibration, which is a feeling of peace and fullness and freedom. You may also have this sense that you start remembering who you are. You start to get to know yourself again. You're connecting to that core energy and you're feeling saturated with your frequency. And this feels amazing. You are also going to be very receptive to receiving signals from your soul, from your higher self. Your mind, your heart, your body, everything is coherent. You're going to feel healthier. You're going to be present. You're going to want to exercise. I know, who would ever think you'd want to exercise? You're going to want to meditate. You're going to want to eat healthy. You're not going to really want to lose this feeling. Phase 7, re-emerge, rebirth, renew. Kind of like a phoenix. This is the new you. You're stepping in. It's from this space that you no longer need to convince yourself that you can do it. You just know that you can. You're aware that everything energetically is connected to you. And you also know that the universe has your back. You want the best for everyone on their own journey, right? There's no competition. You're not comparing yourself to anybody else. You're all seeking love and light. And you know this, so you no longer get sucked into other people's energies. You're totally fine keeping your little boundary alive and being in your space. You're going to notice that you also have the ability to connect to other worlds and other beings. Phase 8, relationships and families are revolutionized. Here you can feel the individual and the collective consciousness. You're going to use your frequency wisely, and you're going to be able to give and receive everything easily. You're also going to gain a new understanding of opposites, like the yin and the yang, right? Because everything is moving so quickly. Phase 9, enlightenment is grounded in matter. Here, love is understood as the force of nature. This is where you feel free and you feel unlimited. You're connected to space and you're connected to time. This is where you're taking those positive steps towards your destiny. It's kind of like you're living life in that fun, childlike way, right? You're very present in your body, your heart is wide open, and you're curious about life. This is where you have access to that unlimited knowledge and that unlimited energy, where you can also tap into that unified field to manifest your visions. This is where you truly are aware that you are an eternal being. So now that you're aware of all these different phases in life, this may help you to realize that you are an energy being that is transforming your dense body back into that high frequency. And remember, you are light. Even if it takes you 9 phases to get there, Until next time, I'm Marisa Grieco, your mystical guide.